We are now.
Okay. Hey, how's it going? Welcome
it going,
back
everybody?
to Jake and Casey's podcast.
JK.
JK Rowling.
JC. Well, actually, yeah. See,
JC,
I fucked
yeah.
up my own.
You called yourself a kike for no reason.
Jesus Kike. Jesus Kike, we call it.
That's a good one right there. Fuck, that reminds me of my bit about Asian Jesus or Chinese Jesus.
Oh, they make a Chinese Jesus.
Chinese is Christ. He died for my sins.
oh, hello, Mark.
Oh, fuck. All right, so, we've got a great episode today. We're going to probably be unrolling a new segment, and we'll also have our traditional interview in the second half of the podcast. In this first half of Jake and Casey's comedy podcast, or Two Jews Doing Comedy, whatever it's going to be, we're going to be talking about, should we start off with Signal Leak War Plans?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Explain to me what that is.
All right, so there was a signal leak where a journalist from the Atlantic was added to, they called it war plans, but it was just sort of like banter between people in the defense industry and the administrative state. Now, my take on it is, like, most people don't know, and even if they do, the bombings have already happened, so nobody cares. It's another ruse by the liberal media to go, see, Trump voters, people that voted for Trump now are having second thoughts because of this thing that, like, only we care about. I don't really care about the bombings. Like, that event has already happened, but they've tried to frame it as if, like, oh, it's just a completely reckless administration and they leaked information about the bombing.
Yeah.
It's sort of like when you start a group chat and, like, it's between you and a bunch of friends and you accidentally add, like, your dad, and your dad's really not down with anything you're saying.
Right.
That's the culmination
he writes,
of
this is gay, and then exits the chat.
Right. And like...
I'm disappointed in you, son. He's left the chat.
Exactly. And I think it's one of those things that, like, nobody cares about, but if you hear anybody lamenting about it... Because
I didn't even hear of this issue. For a comedian, I'm well-informed, I think, so I didn't even hear about this.
If you hear about this issue, it'll be by somebody that inevitably doesn't care. They're just
it's
told
like a
that they should
talking
care.
Point.
Yeah, it's a liberal and conservative media talking point, because...
Where did they come up with this shit? They just decide every... couple months, it's like, all right, this is the new batch of issues that we're all going to give a shit about. It's like, why though? We still have the old issues. Gun violence hasn't gone away. Like, why do I care about the
homelessness
new...
hasn't gone away.
Yeah, what about the old issues? Those are still pressing. Yeah.
It's just, I feel like it's all, you have a political and elite class that's completely disconnected from the rest of us.
Yeah.
And they see this as a big deal, where the rest of us are like, look, could we do something about, like, gas prices and food costs?
Can the eggs be less expensive?
That's what, like, the common man cares about.
Like, I still want eggs in my breakfast. And the government is like, well, they're going to take your adrenochrome away. I'm like, I don't care.
Right. Right.
Can I still have coffee with my eggs in the morning, or am I just drinking black coffee and going to work?
They have their own set of issues that they want us to care about. But even when you're well-informed, it's like, if you look at it through a critical lens, you're like, well, this doesn't matter at all because said event has already happened, and, like, you're getting mad for nothing. There are plenty of valid reasons to criticize the Trump administration and everybody that's working for there. This really isn't one of them, but it's like there's been so much of everything going on and so much terrible, unnecessary crap that they feel like this is going to be a real win, and they're trying to spin a narrative. Anderson Cooper this week has been saying, apparently he talks to a lot of middle-class, blue-collar Trump voters, which, like, nobody believes. And he says, among his friend group that are those people, which is an absolute lie, they're now doubting that they should have voted for Trump over it. And it's like, most people haven't heard about it. And, like, even the ones that do don't care. Like, I don't care much about foreign policy, other than I think we should stop killing more people to make less people hate the United States of America. And I think we should give less of our money away and give more of it to, like, people that are struggling here.
Yeah.
And that's basically where it lands. Like, the rest of the world is the rest of the world. But the U.S. is the U.S. The U.S. has definitely, like, suffered in the last, what?
It's weird how many
century?
billions of dollars we give to foreign aid when people are dropping like flies from fentanyl use. It's
right.
Like, well,
and nobody
we
cares.
Fix our issues. Like,
no.
It's weird that there's not a world where we can stop gun violence and homelessness and heroin and like all the great scourges of society, and then find still a good amount of money for foreign aid. Like, there should be something, but should it be, 20 gajillion billion dollars or whatever kind of bullshit it is? It's like the military. It's like, do we need a military? Yes. Do we need to spend $2 trillion on it or whatever the fuck? No.
Yeah, definitely. Not.
Like we could probably spend about what other people spend. We don't get in that many wars recently.
Right.
Like,
it doesn't all need to
start
come
all
from
of them.
us.
We could just fight less wars,
Yes. Yes, and I think, like, hey, if we're going to spend billions of dollars, can we at least spend, like, the majority of that billions here?
Yeah.
Other countries are what other countries are. They're sovereign nations. In most cases, we don't actually owe them anything. And that's what a lot of people get hung up on. It's like, well, we should be doing all this. Well, should we? Because any money that's given away there's always some strings attached. So, like, don't go feeling all altruistic that you're solving, poverty in Africa when that money is also going towards, like, Bill Gates experimenting on children. Know that all this money that's going out, there are evil things tied to it.
Can we go back to Africa for a second?
Sure.
I've been doing a lot of research about China, and they are fucking shit up in Africa. Like, people talk a lot about how, like, there should be reparations for slavery in America. What about what's currently going on in Africa being done by the Chinese? Because that is, like, they operate so many forms of just outright wage slavery, where they just figure out, like, actually, you owe us all this money for working in your own mines and your own...
Oh, you're talking about the mining of lithium, yeah.
Not just lithium, rare earth minerals. I mean, anything valuable. Rubber... Like, it's like the 18th century again or something. They're, like, chopping off people's hands, basically. And it's like, Jesus, like, and is it because Chinese people are POCs, so, like, we don't know what to say when a POC attacks another POC? Or is it just, like, what is it? Because, like, they seem to just be shitting on Africa. And just,
nobody cares.
They basically have taken, like, a pair of chopsticks and just started just fucking munching onto Africa. And, like, no one's stopping them.
So I think that maybe
that was supposed to be funny, not racist.
And maybe the American case for that. Well, I mean, look, like, I don't give. Here's my take on racism. I don't give a shit about it as long as everybody is supposed to be it and it's done in good fun. I don't think you should discriminate on somebody for their skin color. I think we should all be able to rip on each other for our own stereotypes.
I think comedy should be separate from racism.
Yeah, absolutely,
and
absolutely.
stuff like that.
Like,
and it depends. There are levels. Like, if a white guy just says the N-word, I could see how you'd be like, that's fucking racist. The same way that if, like, a guy was just really anti-Semitic and wasn't Jewish, I was like, okay, stay in your fucking lane. But, like, within reason, like, we should all be able to joke with equal opportunity about all groups.
That's the only way to bring about equality.
As long as it's clearly not hate speech, as long as it's a joke, like, you either laugh or you don't laugh. And if you're really bothered, you come up to the person after the show, and you go, that was fucked up.
Right.
Right.
And I think, there's been, since I've been alive, there's been talks about reparations. And, like, how about a happy medium is like, all right, yeah, we're for reparations now, but the Chinese have to pay it because of what the Chinese are doing now. I can get on board with that.
That's a good, we'll trump it. We're not paying for this wall.
I just don't want to pay it. Yeah. I don't want to pay it because I never benefit off it.
Let's have Mexico pay for the wall and China pay for the reparations.
How about this? Like, I can get down with reparations as long as I don't have to pay it because I haven't benefited.
If you take it from the billionaire 1% who are basically slavers of today, sure. But, like, my family is Northern. We're Jews, so, like, we didn't own slaves. We're in New York. Like, they were very anti-slavery. So, am I saying that, like, I have no white guilt? No, but, like, do I owe reparations because no one in my family ever owned slaves and just because slavery once happened? I mean, that's like saying, like, all of Europe owes me reparations for the Holocaust. It's like, no, we agreed with the Holocaust that you're going to get just Germany paid up, by the way. Nobody else did. Germany went direct people and then the next 2 generations. So slavery is so much further than that. I didn't mean to go out on super far here, but it's just interesting. Like, what percentage of people who are for reparations for slavery support the same thing about the Holocaust?
Right.
There's a lot of people who are anti-racist who have no problem with anti-Semitism.
Right, and who have no problem with like anti-whiteism, because I see that as being the predominant social narrative.
I think that happens, but it doesn't really matter.
I think it matters, and where I think it matters is not for people that are adults, but it matters for children. When you're telling children that are white, that has to stop, because
growing up feeling like you're worse.
It's going to breed resentment. See, that wasn't a thing when I was growing up, so I feel no sense of white guilt. I've had a very tragic life. I've lived in all black neighborhoods. I've lived in all white neighborhoods. I've been at the lowest rungs of society, and I've been at the middle rungs of society. I don't think I'm ever going to get to the upper, but I think once
I love this amount of honesty.
Once you get to
respect that, at least.
Once you get to the upper rungs of society, your skin color doesn't matter, and that's what I find
matters whether you're a pedophile,
right? And what I find odd is that it's the ones it's the ones at the upper level that are aggravating and poking all of us below them. Like, I have way more in common with like some random ass black guy that like maybe fixes printers than I do with, like, say, a Barack Obama or a Colin Powell. Like, and Colin Powell and Barack Obama have a lot more in common with Donald Trump and George Bush than they do me. Black guy. Like, we have pretty a class warfare, I think, where the upper class.
We have to realize things are about green, not black and white.
Right.
It's about money. Aren't. It's always about money.
But it's easiest to
Which is a very Jewish thing to say.
It's easiest to keep black and white and brown and all these other people.
It would be easy if it just broke down into victimhood and identity politics, but it's much more complicated than that.
Right.
Person to person, that guy wants the most money and he wants the most shit. Whether that's Trump, whether that's Obama. I mean, there hasn't been a single president who doesn't write a book deal right after. Do we think that's because they really want people to have knowledge? No, it's because they want millions of dollars.
Right, and like, does anybody, like, that's the thing I've been questioning, right? Like, could you imagine reading a book by Barack Obama or Donald Trump? Like, I don't think that either one of them are interesting enough to read a book that, like, they clearly didn't write.
Obama did write his own book. He's like a Harvard graduate.
So he says. I mean, do you believe it? Like, I believe that anybody
he definitely wrote a lot of it. I don't know.
Is full of it. I believe that they're full of it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Like, and that's just my take on it. I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right about everything, but like, I look at it that as like I'd have to read it, because I think you can get some of the author through reading the book. Yeah. Now, like Trump's book, Trump may have written his own book, and I haven't read it, but if I do read it and I hear like, nobody's ever been better than me at this, nobody's ever been, all right, then I'll know he's written it. Barack Obama, if I can get his tone through it, then I can agree that he's written a large majority of it. I just tend to think that people at the elite sphere are just like full of it, no matter what, and it doesn't, like, political parties don't matter when you're at that level. Like, they want to pretend they do to keep us fighting, but they really don't, because these people are like enriching each other and impoverishing us at the same time. Like, that's the grift. They're all grifters, and we just have to like all see it at once, which like will never ever happen. Like, I have faith in humanity, but I don't have like that much faith in humanity.
It's true.
We're never gonna all come together unless
we're never gonna finally get our shit together and love each other. And
we need a good enemy.
And shit. Yeah. Oh, always. I mean, that's why people have always hated the Jews. Whether you're Republicans, whether you're black, Muslim, Democrats. Every group hates the Jews. And they're not going to be honest about it, and I'm going to get shit for saying this, but like, there is no group that is immune to being anti-Semitic. Like, it is a systemic, societal thing that is ingrained on a country level, not just in America.
Right, it's worldwide.
It's worldwide. And it's annoying that other groups, I'm not going to name names, have been able to say, hey, there's systematic whatever. Why can't we be honest? There's systematic anti-Semitism. Like, there is. It's indoctrinated. It is taught. It is spread. And like, someone needs to call it out. I don't know. I don't care if that's funny or not.
And I will grant this. Let me come in with a humor angle. Like, dude, my family, like the Jewish side of my family, there are a large portion that are annoying. However, I believe they have the right to exist.
Yeah.
Like, I can get like there is a certain personality that comes with Judaism or like at least half the Jews. But
how many coworkers have you had that are loud black ladies who bring snacks? Those are annoying too.
Absolutely.
Do I think we should kill all of them? No.
I think that does seem to be the differentiating factor.
That's what's weird.
It's way easier to be like, maybe if we just kill all the Jews, all our problems will disappear. Yeah. Look, the way power works is that
they would be ashamed of the Holocaust, but in fact, there's Holocaust denial. These fucking bastards aren't even embarrassed.
Well, I was
pretending it didn't even happen.
Like what would unify everybody in this country, right? Yeah. And I was like, all right, we need an enemy. Right. It's got to be a foreign enemy. They got to be pure evil. And then I found myself in like sort of I boxed myself in thought-wise because it's like, wait a minute, Kanye West is making swastika shirts, and like there are a lot of people out there that'll be like, Hitler wasn't that bad. So you can't use him as the apex. It's like, I don't know how to design something evil enough that I could universally get everybody to agree with. Yeah. And that's kind of odd. Like, how do you make somebody evil enough? Like, you would think, all right, Hitler would be a good example. But like, well, now you have a growing minority of people that are like, all right, so if that's not the standard, maybe you guys could come in with like suggestions. What does a person need to be, or a group of people need to be, that are evil enough that could universally get everybody that's a human being to be like, yeah, no, fuck that. These people were against.
There's like only one group that's more hated than Jews: pedophiles. Right. And it's like, they're fucking kids. What did we do? Like,
right, and even
it's so whack. I honestly think people don't like Jews more than they don't like pedophiles. It's hard to say, but we're like neck and neck, and it's like, seriously?
People are making excuses for pedophiles lately. They're calling them maps. They're like, well, it's just a preference. It's like, yeah, but like...
People have started to be like, don't kink shame pedophiles. Right. It's like, no. That is not a kink. They are monsters, and I hope they get stabbed to death in prison. That is the only just part of the penal system.
The penal system.
No, they get murdered in jail. Like, that's what the only part of prison I like, is that they're like, oh, you're a sex offender? Yeah, you're not going to live out your sentence here.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of them, and I feel like, the precipice that we stand at is that, like, we're and people will think I'm crazy for saying this, and I've said this publicly, and I've said it to a lot of people. I think we're very close to the point where we go, that's just another sexual identity. And before you get all mad saying, oh, this is a gay shaming, this has nothing to do with gay or straight. This has to do with drawing borders. Yeah. All right? I know if there's two things that differentiate left and right, it is borders. Now, people on the left are typically more artistic and creative, and they like to test boundaries. People on the right are all about strict borders. You have to have order. The left is chaos, the right is order. You need both equal amounts of those in order to make a society flourish. Oh, yeah. What you can't have is a pendulum swing too far to the left or the right. Nobody wants that.
Overcorrection is always bad. Correct. We were talking about this earlier. I mean, like, we had too much sexism, we had too much racism, and now we have way too much, like, I'm a baby, I need someone to hold my hand, I'm a victim, validate how I'm a victim. Right. Don't ever make me take responsibility. Don't ever make me look at context or anything else. Just be like, no, I'm a victim because of my identity. And if you're an ally, you should agree with that, and you should.
I hate that term. I hate the term ally because it's like, I think in the 90s.
How many of those people who, like, you're an ally to them, like, say they're Latino, say they're whatever. How many of them are good allies back to Jews? Because I never it's weird to me because I've been a good ally, and it doesn't often, never once has like a group who's not Jewish just been like, hey, stop, he's being anti-Semitic, I'm speaking up for you. Never happened.
No, which is why I believe that...
Does that mean I shouldn't be, nice to other groups? No, but it is weird that they don't reciprocate,
And this is where I think America got it right, that a lot of people don't really understand for what it is. America had this idea of individualism, which is being crapped all over right now. Mm. And the way that I try and judge, like, each person that I interact with is not as a collective, because, like, nobody's a collective. Like, if I meet a black guy and he's cool, that's like, he's a cool guy who happens to be black. It's not that all black people are cool. If I meet a black guy and he sucks, that person sucks. He doesn't represent all black people. Yeah. Same with any other race, religion, whatever. Yeah. If we can get to
But they do that with Jews all the time. There will be one bad Jew and people are like, fuck Jews.
Right.
It's like, whoa, if you did that with any other group where you lumped them all in like that would be a problem.
Right, which I will say, back in at least where I grew up in the 90s, that really wasn't a thing. We all just kind of got along, and then 9/11 happened. And maybe that's just my naive experience, but I never thought of, like, somebody, I thought of, hey, anybody that thinks that, like, this group of people is bad because of their skin color or religion, or that's, like, dated shit.
It reminded you that they're out there, that people hate different groups of people just for being different.
Those were the older people that have, for the most part, died off.
Yeah.
And it was like all of that kind of quelled and quashed down really until Barack Obama made it a big issue again, which I find insane because, like, I voted for him and I thought, like, this is my own experience. It doesn't reflect anybody else's. I voted for him thinking I like what he says, and I think if a black guy becomes president of the United States, we can put this issue of race to bed once and for all, because it really is not that important. It should not be that important. I should judge you because you're a decent person.
Well, it's just frustrating that the 60s didn't get it all done. I mean, it's sort of like feminism. In both cases, those were good movements that should have kind of knocked it out of the park, that should have been a one and done. And then, like, for some reason, either the government or people have not,
I think,
actualized, and it hasn't,
So I think the problem with feminism and all of these civil rights movements is that once they're achieved, there's a failure to accept that, like, hey, look, you've actually won, take the win. It's we move the needle. And you have a group of people in this country, and really
that's what I like about Jews. I mean, we do so much of the work just on our own. You know, we just go, we're just going to pull ourselves up. You know, because we realize no one's going to do it for us. I wish that people were nicer to our group, to other groups too. But in fact, America is a hustle. And, like, I respect Jews for being like, we're going to put ourselves through college, then we're going to put ourselves in important jobs, and then we're going to move ourselves up from there because we know no one is going to do that for us.
Right.
And, and I think other groups would be more successful if they copied us. I think Asians do that really well. You know, I think Chinese, a couple groups of Asians do that really, really well.
I think there's a healthy amount of, like, look, there's always going to be, and I think it's innate to human beings, there's always going to be an in-group preference.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But, like, look, if blacks can do it and Latinos can do it, then, like, European whites can do it, then Jews can do it, then Muslims can do it. And it doesn't have to, like, it's going to be exclusionary by nature, but that doesn't mean that it's negative.
Yeah.
And I think what the beauty of America is that, like, hey, we can all have that, and, like, we can coexist. Not only can we coexist and get along, but, like, we can pick off of each other's strengths and lift each other up. And, like, it doesn't matter that you're Muslim or black or Latino we're all Americans, and, like, there should be a certain amount of arrogance, I think, that needs to come back about America. That, like, we're a damn good country that's we've done a lot of evil in the world, but we've done a lot more good than we have evil. And I think people need to get back on board.
You don't see another country trying as hard as us. Like, we can just stop trying to help, but you're going to complain then, too.
Right. We could go North Korea.
Yeah.
You know, like,
if you want us to just hoard everything and stop helping, that's fine. It's just weird. It's like the argument is that we're not helping enough, or what?
Yeah. Right. Or we're helping too much and we're not wanted.
Because I think we're fucking trying our best, and it's like,
Yeah.
So, all right, we've reached kind of the end of the news, politics kind of hour.
End of the news.
We're on to the interview segment. Our next guest is a great friend of mine. He and I met each other at UC in Cincinnati, where he was studying music at UCM. He's gone independent since then and has been doing his own shows. He's done a lot of music up in Ohio, Columbus, Cincinnati, Lexington. People don't know maybe that I'm from Ohio originally. So, we'll be getting some people from up there occasionally. It's my pleasure to be getting Ben Hinault on the call.
Ben Hinault.
Yeah. Yo, what's up, dude?
Hey.
Welcome to the show, bro.
What's going on, Ben?
Thanks. What's up?
How you doing?
Good.
So it's me, Casey, and Ben. We're here for this comedy podcast. Today we've got this musician, Ben Hinault, on. There's a lot of overlap between comedy and music, I feel like. Like, they're both performance arts.
Yeah, they're both arts.
And then you say something, Ben.
Make it funny.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So talk to us a little bit about what kind of music you make.
I play piano, so yeah, I've been doing that my whole life. Love writing music for piano, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Some drumming too, but I write music for piano mostly. And
you've done some film scores too, right?
I have. Yep,
that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and yeah, that's fun too. It's really fun.
Hell yeah! Tell us about some shows you've done.
So, well, last year I did a piano concert, and that was really fun. So I got to do just perform for people in Columbus. So that's where I'm living. And yeah, I think it went really well. So yeah, it was a really good time. And tomorrow I'll be volunteering. First time in a while I'll be playing in public. It'll just be at the hospital, so that'll be really fun. Being able to play there. And yeah, I'll be able to talk with some people, hopefully.
If you don't let me play piano, I'm going to blow up this hospital.
If you don't listen to me in 1 hour, I will blow up this hospital.
If you don't give me head.
Hi, I'm Ben. I'm a pianist. You're a pianist? I'm a pianist. That's right. Dude, piano is a great, dude, that's a great instrument. So I play guitar. And when I was a kid, I have a little brother. He played piano, and I used to rip on him all the time. I was like, you play piano, you're a homo, and it was just easy to rip on him. And once I got older and a little bit more mature, I realized that wow, I should have really been playing piano, because it seems like most of the stringed instruments originate from piano, and it's a skill that yeah, maybe at 12 that isn't cool, but at 20, it's pretty dope to be able to play piano really well. That's
a move with the ladies too, right?
Yeah, I would imagine.
You play music for girls sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, you got to be doing that. It's a panty dropper.
You got to be mall piano guy.
Yeah.
Those guys seem to kill it.
They get pussy in the mall, bro.
Yes.
They used to play in the mall. Did you know that?
No. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I did that for a year and a half. I was a mall piano guy.
Nice.
Holy shit.
I love a mall piano guy.
Did you ever get some action at the mall?
Not the good kind of action. One dude, he tapped my shoulder. He was like, yo, asking me some question about some song. And then his friend, he ran around the other side. He grabbed my tip jar, just ran away with it.
What?
Dude, that's not good attention. Yeah.
You got robbed?
Yep.
That's so gay.
Yeah, it was not good.
Holy shit. What did you do?
What I do, I ran after him.
Did you get him?
What?
Did you get him? What happened?
I didn't catch him. He ended up I think he just grabbed as much as he could, and then he dumped the jar. So I got the jar, and I got a little bit of money, but I lost probably 80-90% of it.
Fuck.
Damn.
Yeah, and then the cops didn't do anything.
God,
okay. So
typical.
So he was black.
Yep.
Yeah, I can usually guess the demographic based off the crime.
Casey is I was gonna say he's like a racist detective, but he's just a detective.
I've just been around all the races, so I know certain crimes, and I've been involved in a lot of crimes. If you
tell Casey what you're doing with the group, he can tell you where your night is gonna end.
Yeah, I've been involved in the criminal element with every group of people except Asians. I think so.
You never had some Muay Thai, street racing Asians?
No, it was blacks, Latinos, and white trash. So
I kind of like the those 5'7" Asians that have the butterfly knives and are we're loco.
I never got Asian. Them. I got all right. So
that's a Cincinnati thing. They've got South Asian gangsters.
Do they?
Yeah. There was this guy Ice, who I shouldn't say his name. There was this guy who was really scary, South Asian guy. And his thing was that he would just rob drug dealers, and which is not safe. And so eventually he just got a fucking bounty put on him in the entire state of Ohio.
You can't keep that.
They were like, yeah, there's 10 band large on this South Asian guy. And I think a couple people have tried to kill him. He sells in Colorado or California now. But like, it's just crazy.
He ninja'd it out of there.
Yeah, South Asians do not give a fuck. Like, they'll bring fully autos to shit. They're like, I don't think they get like our law system maybe, because they will just wild out. It's nuts. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bro,
I've never done crimes with them. I've done crimes with like everybody else.
They all know martial arts and they have machine guns. It's
nice.
Great. It's like, pick one. Jesus.
We're gonna be more successful if I did crimes with them.
Yeah, I admire the hustle, but it's like they're always too hardcore for me. When I was in the underworld, I just wanted to make some money quietly. They want to like, drag race, use nitrous. This is getting way off track.
we went from piano to like the Yakuza.
Yeah, crime, man. It's exciting. Ah, shit. Hey, so you started out at UCM, right?
What?
You started your music thing at UCM, right? UC.
Oh, yep. CCM.
CCM. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's where we met. Those were good times.
Fucking great times. Hanging in your apartment.
What years are we talking about, Gus?
Like 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hung out a ton. I was like 19 to 20.
Oh, man, it was so long ago since I was 19 to 20.
Yeah.
I'm 43.
Bro, we were going to live forever back then. We got into some crazy shit.
What were you doing in 1920, Casey?
Crimes with black people specifically.
Nice.
Yeah.
We were doing some of that.
Yeah, we were smoking crack and robbing places.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
And then, what you were involved in, but there you go.
And then I sobered up. I did one crime too many, and then like so the crime that put me over the edge was setting up a crack house to be robbed when they knew that I was going to be the one to set them up to rob.
Oh shit.
And I saw where they were hiding it out my window the same day that I called another drug dealer to go steal it. And then I told him maybe wait a day or two, and he goes, "No, we're taking it tonight." And like I had that smack in the face moment where I realized, hey, I'm out of control. And he's like, I said, well, what do you suggest I do? He goes, I'd like dip for a month. He's like, because they're gonna know it's you. And I dipped like forever. It was all of a sudden that was my wake up moment where I realized your life is out of control and it's about to end tonight. Yeah. And I never went back. I fled the city that night.
Yeah.
Binghamton, New York.
Ben, do you remember when Smeller got robbed?
No.
Oh shit! Yeah, there was this group of brothers that jacked him. They fucked him up, and then those guys robbed another drug dealer who just shot them to death. And that was off of McMillan, where we used to hang all the time. And that was, for me, the event where I was like, I need to lower my fucking profile and probably just get the fuck out of this.
Getting out when it gets, like, once guns...
You gotta know what your risk level is. And, like, for me, I beat up a couple people. I was willing to do hands, and, I was willing to handle if they even pulled out, a knife or a bottle or something. I know enough Taekwondo for that. But, like, the minute people were getting shot, I was like, when
people get shot or shot at and you're with them, that's usually the time where you need to dip. And like I should have probably taken that message more seriously, but when you're 18, you're invincible.
You think you're invincible, yeah.
Right. So I thought nothing of it. Yeah. And then I did the setup, and that was where
Ben, you thought you were invincible.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Remember the skateboarding thing where you should have gone to the hospital? Tell the crew about that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I found this. I was just, I don't know how I ended up in this part of the city, but I was just skateboarding around. Nice.
You were drunk, right?
This was like midday.
Oh, okay.
But I was off my nuts that day. And I was going to the bank. That's what it was. The bank was like all across the city. Didn't have any way to get there. So I was skateboarding. And yeah, Cincinnati's hilly. And so I'm like, oh, I see this roof. I want to get on it. But there's this barbed wire fence. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to climb this tree. And I'm going to jump over the fence. I'm going to get on the roof. And I actually did that successfully. And then I realized after I got back, I was able to climb down some way to get out the other way. I didn't have to go up I only crossed the barbed wire one time, but then I saw this massive cut in my leg. It was like 6 inches.
Oh my god! Yeah, it looked like a zombie bite. It was horrifying.
Yeah, my phone was like at like 2%, and so I called. Alex Reamer.
Yeah, fuck. We haven't heard from him in a minute. Shout out to the boy. Hope he's doing good.
Yeah, dude, help me out. I'm at 2%. Get my location and come get me. This is all I can say.
Your biggest concern is the battery.
Yeah, yeah. He called our Jewish homeboy AJ at AE Pie. He got in his fucking car. He stopped smoking weed for a minute and was like, "I'm gonna take this fucking guy to the hospital." I remember him texting me that day, like, "I think Ben almost died today." I was like, "No way, really?" Like, I was kidding around. He sent me a picture of your leg, and I was like, "Holy shit! Did he get mauled by a tiger? Like, what the fuck? Like, you could see the bone almost. It was nuts."
Yeah, it was pretty gross. But yeah, he took the moment. He took that time to roast me. He roasted the fuck out of me. He's like, "Bro, so do you like not have any other friends? Like, why'd you call me?" Damn, dude.
He was. I mean, Russian Jews are both the meanest and funniest people. He when he found out I was bi, he called me half gay. I was like, "Fuck you, dude." Yeah. What do you got going on coming up in music?
Got a concert in April, so I'll be it's just for family in Boston. So I'll be driving, and it'll be good driving with my dad. So that'll be kind of that'll be new. Spending 12 hours in the car with my dad.
What will that look like? Just 12 hours of silence?
Oh.
I'll be like, "Hey, so can you talk?"
Yeah, and he'll be like, "We will say nothing for the whole time." And you'll be like, "What about some music?" And he'll be like, "Quiet contemplation is all the music you need."
Yeah, and no, it'll be good. I don't know what to expect, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good.
Maybe you guys will bond. You might like Eiffel Tower a chick or something.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine how weird it would be to fuck a chick with your dad?
Ugh. Ugh.
Oh my god. It would ruin the relationship. Like, I can't imagine being horny enough to be like, "Yeah, let's do this."
Yeah, I don't want to be naked around my dad.
I
don't want to be around my dad, let alone being naked with him.
Oh, that would be so weird, dude. Oh my god. Oh shit. Levi, so you're not on yet. Levi's calling before
where are you performing in Boston? Like, where at specifically?
Massachusetts.
Well, yeah, I know Boston's in Massachusetts,
but
dude.
Where?
Like, what venue?
Oh, just in the home. Just in the house.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just like a small private event.
Yeah. There's just like less than 10 people there. I think it's just family. But I'm looking forward to it because they haven't heard me play ever.
Well, that's cool, man.
That's gonna be so fire.
It's always nice to play in front of people that like don't know you have that ability to play. You know, like there's a new dimension of you that gets opened up.
That's really true.
Yeah, they've known me my whole life. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I had a show like that this week where all of my dad's work. On Thursday, my paid show. I had three gigs this week, but the one that was coolest was my dad's colleagues all came and saw me at a Federation gig. It was a Jewish show, and my mom was there, my grandma was there, my dad was there, and like even my Jewish therapist came. Like everybody just saw me, and it was just really cool to like just be seen by the people who've known me for like way before I even started doing comedy, you know, and they'd probably all seen me on YouTube before or something, but to see me like kill, and
but
do my
see
thing,
live is
like how
different,
you're gonna do it in Boston, you know, where you're like a specific venue and there's a whole event, like that's a good fucking feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's gonna be huge, man.
Yeah, Casey, do you have anything coming up in comedy?
I'm going to be performing at Big Top on Monday as long as work doesn't pull me into something, which is like a 50-50 right now. And All Stars on Tuesday as long as work doesn't pull me into something, which is about a 60-40 right now. Because Tuesdays, Thursdays, Mondays are the days that they get their hooks into me.
Thursday we might hit Cock and Bull together.
Yeah, so we'll see. I do stand up and like mainly I'm focusing on doing the podcast and just trying to keep my job.
He did a guest spot at one of my shows about 2 or 3 weeks back at Wolfie's. He killed it.
Yeah,
so
it was fun.
He's starting to work shows too.
Yeah. Oh, I trust that. Trust you killed it.
Yeah, for sure.
I try.
The thing about Casey that's very un-Jewish of him is he's extremely confident and he projects very loudly. I like, a lot of Jews are very nebbishy and anxious. And I saw Casey performing. I'm like, I like this guy, but is he really Jewish? He seems way too confident.
Yeah. And I have all the exact opposite features. Like I have blonde hair and blue eyes. So like,
and you're cool and like a bro and like you hang at the bar and you shoot pool. Like,
yeah, but like
you're mechanical. You're good with your hands. Like you have a big dick. There's all these things that are just like specifically anti-Jewish stereotypes.
But then, like,
if you're like, nah, I got it.
If you ask Danielle, she's like, "Oh, he's so cheap." So like, I got that.
I don't think you're cheap. Dude, you get me dinner every time we hang out.
Yeah, but like, it comes out in weird ways. Where like, I notice the prices of everything, and whether I'm buying it or not, I feel the need to bitch and say that it's too much.
Yeah.
Where like, I think other people just walk by, like stuff that I'm not buying.
Yeah.
I'll look at and go,
like,
God, that's expensive.
I do that too.
Like, my Nana did that, and like I feel like I got it from her. And I asked other people about it, and they're like, well, no, I don't ever do that.
I think if you have somebody in your family who has that poverty mindset, it's not even a specifically Jewish thing. I've seen poor Korean people be like this. I've seen a lot of groups. If you're raised by a person who's kind of cheap, or even cheap is a negative, let's say
frugal,
from a frugal background that's used to poverty, they're always going to not want to spend money. And like, that's not to down it or anything. But when you were raised by someone like that, it always sort of impacts you going forward. Like my grandfather, he was a very well-paid lawyer, but it didn't stop him from scrupulously watching how much smoked salmon we were putting on the bagel.
Yes.
I'm like, you can afford an entire extra container of smoked salmon for everybody if you wanted. You could buy the smoked salmon store. Like, why are you freaking out? Know? But he was like a high-paid New York lawyer. But it didn't change him from being like, whoa, 4 pieces of lox, 3 will cover the bagel. Like
my Nana,
it's like, what?
we used to go to Tijuana when I was a kid. Yeah. And my Nana, like, now mind you, at this point, my Nana is like, I don't know that she might have worked, she might not have, but they were millionaires living in Mission Viejo, California.
Yeah.
And we went down to Tijuana, and she would argue with street vendors over something that was like 75 cents. And she'd give them such a hard time to get it down to like 45 cents.
Yeah, they'd be like, fine, it's a dime. Just stop bothering me.
She'd settle at 47 cents, but she had to feel like she was getting a deal. And she's like, oh, $1, that's ridiculous. And I'm thinking, like, yo, these people are like living in privation.
Yeah.
Like, it's $1. I know that you guys are millionaires.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter at all. So, like, I don't know, maybe I caught a little bit of that. Yeah. But my wife always mentioned to me, like, I've gotten better as I've gotten older, but, like, when we first got together, I was, like, real cheap in that, like, oh, God, what do you mean they're, like, $25? Maybe you can find them for, like, I don't know, $18.57, I'll buy them. And, like, there's not that much of a difference.
Yeah.
And, like, it's gone away as I've made a little bit more money, but, like, I don't know, I probably still got some work to go.
Oh, big
I'm trying to get better. But, like, I'll mention it to people, and they just look at me like I got 3 heads.
Ben, you're kind of frugal. Did you have somebody in your family like that, or is that just your nature?
I guess. I think at this point, what's influenced me most is being broke.
Yeah.
That
necessity.
That changes it.
Yeah. It's like, so I just am like, if I don't need it, I don't buy it.
Right.
My thinking.
So when you probably have kids, they might kind of get that secondhand a little bit. Yeah, that's interesting.
It's not the worst thing.
Yeah, they'll know the value of money. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to notice. I don't think it's really good or bad.
Yeah, if obsessed on it can be bad, but
people will turn it into a stereotype, but that doesn't mean it's negative.
Like, right, it has its benefits. Like, there are plenty of times I've talked myself out of buying something that I wanted that I definitely didn't need.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, so...
And that's why I have money in my savings.
Right.
Like, there's a reason. And what's more important, the fact that when my car's making a weird sound again, I know I can fix it. When I have a day to bring it in, I can fix it. Whereas if I bought all this frivolous shit, I would be like, oh fuck, I hope my car doesn't break.
Right.
You know.
You got a good mechanic?
Yeah,
right,
buddy
good.
of mine. Yeah,
Good.
really good dude. Shout out Swanson's, really good mechanic. Hell yeah. Hey, so we're nearing the end of our excellent interview with the awesome Ben Hinault. Ben, would you like to plug anything, or tell us where we can see your music?
Yeah, my SoundCloud is Ben Hinault. That's my SoundCloud.
Hell yeah, follow him.
And how do you spell that?
BenHenault.
All right.
Awesome.
Ben Hinault.
That's what's up, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. It's nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice meeting you, Casey. Thanks, Jake.
Yeah, for sure. We'll